Hello and welcome to Cynical Optimists. I am haddowinc.
And I am NGM.
And welcome this week to what is our first series finale.
Oof.
Yes, we managed to make it through a whole 12 videos without giving up, getting bored, getting lost, or simply forgetting.
Yeah, no, we've done pretty well.
I think we've done well.
And
Let's just pat ourselves on the back for the next hour.
and this episode goes back to our roots of Skyping.
Yes, we can gather in the same location today. Because it's the end of the summer and we're going back to schools.
Unis.
Uni, yeah.
School, if you like. Well, it's the last episode. Phil, I don't know where to begin.
Well, I think... Well, today's going to be all about films that make... video games that make good films, and maybe a bit of vice versa if we have time. But I think we should begin, just throwing it out there, with some film and TV news.
Really?
That's
I think interesting take.
Like, if you have any.
Yeah, I do have some. Right. Not a lot on the telly front this week. We've got some stuff from the BBC director, Tony Hall. He wants BBC iPlayer to become more like Netflix. This isn't even TV really either, but he wants iPlayer to showcase. He could even open up to showing content from others. And he wants the programmes to go up there as series so people can chain watch in Netflix style. So that's interesting.
But they're going to be limited to what they can do because obviously the BBC doesn't have Netflix's budget and licenses.
No, well, yeah, exactly. Well, I think they mean in terms of putting their whole series on there. I think, to start off with, and then they want to be able to show other content and stuff. So that's interesting. We always like our iPlayer news here. More
I don't know why that made me laugh so much.
More BBC-ness. Obviously, a new series of Doctor Who coming up. That's not the news, don't worry. But what is the news is that there'll be a very experimental episode of the next series, featuring just Peter Capaldi.
Just Peter Capaldi?
Yeah, on his own, for a whole episode.
Could he just be doing, like, cocaine lines off the TARDIS console?
For that entire episode, and then just imagining other people.
Just monologuing at the camera whilst high off his brain.
So no, I think that's quite interesting, actually.
Yeah, I think that would be it goes back to kind of the like companionless and doctorless episodes they did.
Yeah, exactly. I've sort of missed those, especially as we have too much bloody Clara. This isn't really news, and we don't often feature other people's content and stuff. But I was reading I think it was a Den of Geeks spoiler-free review of the upcoming episode, and there seems to be a bit worse Clara-ness coming, because we've complained before that the companion should be the accessible character. But apparently now that she hasn't got her arc anymore, apparently they're just giving her everything to do.
So is this whole episode with Peter Capaldi to make up for the fact that he probably won't do anything the rest of the episodes? He'll probably just be stood around
listening to Clara,
catchphrases,
getting everything right. So no, it's a bit of a shame actually. I was looking for... I thought the reason why they were continuing with Clara was because they had something interesting for her to do.
Yeah, well, maybe they're just kind of like... Well, if she does everything, then surely one of those things has got to be interesting.
Yeah. If she's smarter than the Doctor and funnier and everything than the Doctor, then surely that makes her a more interesting character, yes? No. Moffat. No, it doesn't. That's about it for TV news today. Literally, as I said, there's nothing unless I've missed anything. Can you think of anything big?
In TV?
Yeah.
I can't... Oh, there was a trailer released for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Series 3, which is our compulsory Marvel news.
Ugh.
Because, try not to give too many spoilers, but it all follows on from the Series 2 finale, which features a bit of it. Which the Series 2 finale hinted slightly at what was going to happen, but...
When does Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. return?
Next month, I think.
Oh, okay.
Because I believe now they're going to start with the build... Like, it'll be doing the fallout from the last few films, and I believe this is all build up towards Civil War now.
Right, okay.
Because they've been hinting that there's going to be... Because there's obviously S.H.I.E.L.D. and Hydra.
There's not a lot to get to. I mean, Civil War is going to have to go pretty much from the off, actually, isn't it? Because it hasn't got much build up. As far as I can tell, Ant-Man didn't have any big Civil War build up, did it?
I mean, depending on how they use Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., this whole setup for Season 3 could count as Civil War build up.
Right.
Because, I'm just going to say spoiler alert, if anyone at home doesn't want to be spoiled, just skip ahead a few minutes. But at the end of the series, there's this device that if you're like one of these chosen people, when you touch the device, you like it unlocks your powers or whatever.
Right.
And they drop it in the sea by accident.
It's literally a plot device.
So there's this thing sat at the bottom of the sea, slowly leaking whatever magic it has.
Of course.
So it means that people everywhere are starting to discover their abilities. So it means that it's going to be a bit like the first season of Heroes, with everyone discovering their abilities and
right.
S.H.I.E.L.D. and the organisation like trying to like find them and teach them how to use them. But with all these superpowered people, that's probably going to lead on to Civil War, because that's all about like registering people's abilities.
That's a good point.
I know they're introducing like a government-based superhero like detainment unit or something to be against S.H.I.E.L.D. and Hydra. So it's all like, I can see how it might tie in.
I never really watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I think I watched a bit of the first episode, but never really that interested.
Well, the first season wasn't very interesting till the tie-in to Winter Soldier. So that's like the second half of the first season. Season 2 was quite good. Season 3 I'm reasonably optimistic for.
Good. Gotham Series 2, 21st, everyone.
The reasonable optimists.
Yes, Christopher Nolan. You know, we've briefly talked about that documentary.
Yes.
He's actually now been bookmarked in for his next actual proper film. And I don't even think... Is it the
making of the documentary?
No. I don't even think Warner Brothers know what it is, because they've commissioned his next film, and they've told everyone that the release date is July 21st, 2017.
Yeah.
That is every detail they know about it.
Was that July 21st?
2017, yeah.
Ah, so I'll be 22 that day.
Yes, I know that, yeah. I remember, yeah.
Just remember it as when Christopher Nolan's film comes out, then you'll remember my birthday as well.
But no, they seem to have just commissioned it because it's Christopher Nolan. Like, he hasn't... There is nothing of it. But apparently it might be original, like not based on on a novel or an existing property. It's literally that. It's literally just that. That's all the news I have. But it's a Chris Nolan film, so yeah. Maybe Michael Caine. I'm assuming Hans Zimmer. Anne Hathaway.
So we're just making guesses based on things that usually happen in his
literally
films.
All I'm guessing is all we know is the fact that it arrives on July 21st, 2017.
Mark the date in your calendars, folks.
Speaking of dates, Star Wars The Force Awakens has been given to us a day earlier than the Americans. Yeah! Which means it arrives... by the time you're listening to this, which will be Friday, there'll be 97 days to go.
Yeah!
So that's exciting. What else have I got?
I'm glad you used days and not sleeps either. That's one of my pet peeves, is people who use sleeps. It's like a day is 24 hours. How fucking difficult is that? You could stay up all night and then your complete sleep system is a load of rubbish.
Right, you've probably already heard this, but Sam Smith is singing the Spectre theme.
Oh, isn't it Spectre?
Whatever. It's called Writings on the Wall, so the song isn't actually called Spectre.
Nice.
Yeah. What, are you a fan?
Of Sam Smith?
Yeah.
I've heard a few of his songs.
I think everyone's mum is.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, to be honest, I think he's quite a good choice of somebody that no one really hates. At the very least, they just acknowledge. Like,
yeah, true.
because they always choose people that some people love, but the majority of the public just find rather inoffensive, like Haddow or whatever.
Who did sing the last one?
Yeah.
Spectre, are you looking forward to Spectre itself?
It might be alright. I haven't really... I've seen the trailer, but... Thing is, like, the last few Bond films, cause I still haven't seen Quantum of Solace, because I've heard it's... everyone but you thinks it's rubbish.
I think it's better than Skyfall.
I thought Casino Royale was quite good. I thought Skyfall, I think I just saw after I'd seen Star Trek Into Darkness and the Avengers, and I was just fed up with people, and I was fed up with like the super intelligent villain who was their plan to be captured, so they could be put in a glass prison, then escape, and then like have this entire thing set up supposedly years in advance.
Oh no, that was a bit ridiculous.
But it was nice enough.
Yeah, this is an alright film. Jason Momoa, who's now playing Aquaman, has said that his Aquaman won't be the butt of jokes. He said it's cute and funny that people make jokes, but just wait.
They haven't heard the punchline yet.
So maybe Aquaman won't be the butt of superhero jokes come next year.
Maybe they'll put Robin in the film just to distract.
Yeah, that's the whole reason. Yeah. That's pretty much it for film and TV news this week. Not a huge amount.
Yeah, you're finished earlier than usual.
I'm usually about 10 minutes on after this, but. Okay. I'm going to say about this anyway. It's not really film and TV news, but. Have you seen some of the new toys from the Star Wars Force Awakens?
I saw those remote control BB-8s.
Yeah, I want one. The company that actually helped make the actual prop for the film, Sphero, they've made this toy, and you can control it with your phone, and it's just this BB-8 from the Force Awakens, and it just looks really cool.
Yeah. I mean, we still haven't seen the film. So
I know, but it looks really cool. And
I saw like a tweet on my feed the other day, which was like, wouldn't it be funny if we all go to see the new Star Wars film and all BB-8 does is make racial slurs? And everyone has these toys.
Yeah, it's good actually that everyone already wants one and it's not even been out yet. That's pretty good going. But also, what has been in a Star Wars film so far, have you seen the drone Millennium Falcon as well?
No.
It's like a drone. It's based on those drones you can get at the moment. It's got the 4 rotors, but they're built into the body around the Millennium Falcon. You can control it.
God,
there's even a hyperspace button. I'm not even kidding.
Sounds like a fanboy's wet dream.
I really want one.
Sounds like your wet dream.
And yeah, and then obviously there's a load of figures and other Star Warsy stuff. New lightsabers. You can buy Kylo Ren's little lightsaber now.
You mean the one with the hilt?
With the hilt, yeah. Yeah, that is it for film and TV news.
Right, so I guess it's on to my gaming news then, isn't it?
I guess it is, yeah.
First off, you might have already know this. I'm not sure if I've mentioned it too much before, but I am a fan of the series Pikmin.
You have mentioned it, yeah.
Yeah, the real-time strategy series where you play a 4cm tall explorer with his 3cm tall vegetable people. which he uses to kill animals to make into more vegetable people,
Nice.
whilst exploiting the planet for his own gain, which is essentially it. But this week, Pikmin 4 was confirmed to be in development and very close to completion, apparently.
Ooh.
So it's a bit confusing as to why it's not been shown at E3 or anything, but this Nintendo's E3 this year was supposedly just games that would release in 2015.
Right, okay.
So it might mean a release next year.
Early next year or something, yeah.
Or it might mean that they're going to use it as a launch title for whatever this NX is, the one after the Wii U or whatever.
Right.
But just, like, hearing about it, I'm very happy. I like Pikmin.
Good. There's some news that makes Phil happy.
Yay!
If you're made happy, why don't you write in the comments?
If any of the news today brought happiness to you.
If you're someone's mum and you like Sam Smith, then why don't you write in the comments? If you want a BB-8 Sphero, then write in the comments. If you want iPlayer to be more like Netflix, then write in the comments.
Don't forget.
Someone write in the comments.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, folks.
We'll send you a T-shirt, please. We won't send you a T-shirt. That's a lie.
Well, probably not.
No.
I mean,
we could just send you. I was going to put this in the charity bin, but if you want it, we'll send it to you.
It's just a plain white polo.
It's got nothing on it, but we can send you a T-shirt. We can write on in pen. I've forgotten our name. It's Cynical Optimists, and then we won't pay for postage either. You can pay for postage.
Yeah.
Sorry, we went off beat there, didn't we?
We went a bit off topic there.
Sorry, back to game news.
I think it was announced a little while ago now, but there was the news that there was going to be a Nintendo theme park. I think it's going to be part of Universal, like Nintendo Land.
Okay.
But now Ubisoft have announced that they're making one.
Right.
But their one's going to be in Malaysia.
Oh.
And it's going to open. It's going to open in 5 years' time. It's going to have like rides based on its franchises. So franchises owned by Ubisoft are like Rayman, Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs. So maybe there'll be like a roller coaster where you hack people's phones, or
the thing is, people, Universal and that, people go to America. It's a bit of a kid's holiday anyway, isn't it? Like, I'm not sure they had a family trip planned to go to Malaysia. I might be wrong, but
yeah, the Ubisoft one sounds like it's going to be a lot more niche.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it all seems a bit odd. I mean, you know those rides that lift you up then drop you down?
Drop rides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They could have like just a bundle of hay at the bottom and call it the Assassin's Creed ride.
You have to go to the top, synchronise, and then drop down into a bale of hay. That's a good idea. It doesn't actually drop down, you just have to jump off.
So yes, that'll be 2020, I guess. Because
Nice.
they said they're going to be developing it over the next 5 years.
Right.
And they described it as being next gen as well. Like, I understand the whole console thing, but this is a theme park. They're like, it's going to be a next gen theme park.
What?
Its graphics are going to blow your mind. You're going to think you're really there. 60 frames per second on everything.
If you go there and you're quite an old person, you might not be compatible with the ride. you might not be able to get the belt on if you're in your 70s.
You need a Uplay account to even enter.
If you do try to put old people in with these next gen rides, then like, sometimes it'll just crash halfway. I can't think of any more jokes. We'll move on, shall we?
I'm just imagining like a roller coaster Just like not putting the bars down on the old people.
Oh dear.
Oh, God.
Sorry, Ubisoft, but yeah, good luck with that.
Sorry, those jokes were getting slightly morbid in a sense.
Thing is, as well, like the most Ubisoft, like Watch Dogs and Assassin's Creed, they're both sort of 15 or 18s, aren't they?
Yeah, well, I know Ubisoft probably has some more like kiddie games, like I said, Rayman, but I can't think of any.
I was gonna say
Not right now, anyway.
I mean, I suppose they did a Saw ride at Thorpe Park.
Yeah.
I'm trying to justify it for them.
You don't need to defend them.
No. Oh well. Good luck, Ubisoft.
Yes. Is that right? I guess.
Are you still thinking about the old people?
I'm just thinking about someone just clipping through the floor. Like, the way they release their games is going to be the way they open this park.
What, like major bugs and stuff? You've just got like these bugs like going around the actual theme park. Just sorry, it's a bit buggy to start off with.
Like a day one update for all the rides and shit like that.
Right, anyway, move on.
Yes. An indie studio, Ludosity, have just released a game for the NES. Which is quite an interesting thing, seeing as the NES has been out of production for 30 years.
I was going to say.
Well, actually, no, it was released 30 years ago. It's been out of production probably for 24 years.
Oh, okay. Right.
So they've released it as a... Obviously, it's not official in any sense, but they've released their game on an actual cartridge.
Right.
Which you can buy if you still have an old NES.
Oh, cool.
So that was quite interesting.
Good.
Yes. I'm not actually sure what more there is to say about that story. So let's move on. Fallout 4, the game which me and you just both love so much.
Yeah.
So much that neither of us both of us are yet to play the Fallout Shelter.
Yeah.
But well, that's been...
All the actual... I don't think I played the last Fallout game itself, to be honest.
No, but you've probably heard of Skyrim as well, yeah?
Yes.
Because they're both... Skyrim and Fallout were both by the same people.
Right.
And it's come out that Fallout 4's script is bigger than Fallout 3 and Skyrim's scripts combined.
Right, okay.
So it's just basically bragging about the massive amounts of dialogue and stuff like this.
Right.
Because the game's essentially it's gonna be very big by what's been shown of it so far. Like,
they're quite big open world games as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
interesting.
Yeah, so because it's the whole thing of Fallout 4, if you really wanted, you could just go found your own like little settlement and start building it.
Mm.
And it's got like a really, I think we've mentioned this in like the E3 episode, but it's got like, you build like your own shack out of like the pieces of other ruined shacks and stuff like that. It's like it's like the Sims Apocalypse Edition essentially.
Right.
But yeah, it's quite interesting like hearing all these details about Fallout 4, because although I've never played the games before it, it is quite interesting seeing all these details and seeing the amount of work that seems to be going into it to make this quite a big deal, essentially.
And I will respect that by at some point playing Fallout Shelter. Maybe.
Next, Batman.
Yeah.
Now, Batman Arkham Knight, as we reported here on this very podcast,
we didn't break the news, but
was pretty damn broken at launch.
Well, I thought that was only for PC, wasn't it?
Yeah, only really for PC, but now if you own it on PC, you might be able to play it if you're lucky, because the first patch has been released.
Hey!
Which supposedly fixes, makes the game a lot more stable.
Good.
So, if you bought Arkham Knight, you might actually be able to play it.
I don't think I'd be able to run Arkham Knight on my laptop, to be honest, would I?
I doubt it. I think I would maybe be able to run it on medium settings on my computer. But at the moment, I've got very little interest in doing that.
Yeah, I was going to say. Well, because
I'm not getting the best press.
Because I really want to play Arkham Knight, because I've played all the others. And I
Hmm.
love all the others, but I can't.
Oh, you could just buy a PS4.
I could, but I've actually just watched the story mode on YouTube.
Yes. In Hyrule Warriors Legends, which is a new game coming for 3DS, which is a 3DS, essentially a 3DS port from the Wii U game of Hyrule Warriors. Toon Link will be playable in it.
Toon Link.
So this is highly expected based on the fact that other characters from his game have been already announced in the past.
Right.
But this is the first official mention of
Oh.
him himself, because this is going to be supposedly, I believe it's going to be extra story missions which go into different, which includes more Zelda games essentially.
Right.
Now with more Zelda.
Yay.
Oh, coughing.
It's a nasty cough.
It all built up in my throat from when I was laughing earlier, and I've just been slowly sitting there stewing. And yes, the new Apple TV, which supposedly will focus on gaming, because it's the Apple show at the moment, isn't it? 'Cause you're a lot more in tune with your Apple side than I am.
New iPhone supposedly released today.
So what is this? The iPhone 7?
6S.
6S.
Hopefully it'll be a big success.
Oh, for
Sorry, it's a weekly thing. I have to get it out of my system.
So has the 6C already been released?
I don't know if they'll do a 6C or not. 6C. Hopefully that's nice and 6C. Sorry, you set that up for me.
I knew it was coming as well. As soon as I said it, I was like,
Oh.
God damn it. He's gonna take this on and run with it.
Oh dear. Yeah, I don't know if they'll do it because they didn't do as well with the 5C as they were hoping to. But I sort of hope they do a 6C because I find the 6 slightly big.
And the C model is smaller.
Well, hopefully, they do a smaller one. Because, I don't really get why they... I do get because Android devices tend to be upsizing at the moment, and Apple felt the need to go along with that, so they made the 6 massive. And I've got the 6, and I actually prefer the size of my old 5.
Yeah, someone I know has one, I'm not sure if it's Windows or it's Android. It's the size of his palm.
Yeah.
He's quite he's not got small hands.
Why do we keep upscaling the size of phones? Why don't we just get tablets?
Thing is, it seems to be a cycle because the phones started off big, then they started getting smaller and smaller, then they got a bit bigger again.
Yeah.
And they got smaller again. Now they're getting bigger again.
I understand that people do a lot of emails and typing and stuff on their phones these days, but just bring an iPad with you or a tablet or something.
Yeah, I think we're gonna.
We don't need to start combining.
Well, the thing is, I think you can probably do sometimes with just probably two things. I can do quite well just with my tablet and my desktop.
Yeah.
Whereas other people might just have a laptop and just a slightly larger phone or something like that.
Mm.
So I think it's options, but
yeah, that's the thing. They don't offer anything smaller than the 6 at the moment, which I think they ought to. And hopefully they do a 6C, which does actually get released. But I haven't really heard much about it, so we don't know. We don't know.
Get the song "Everything About Me Is So Sexy" for the advert.
I'm 6C and I know it. And
Oh,
other puns. Anyway.
Yeah, and other puns that probably won't help to sell iPhones, because iPhones are cool people gadgets, and puns are your dad.
Anyway, back to the Apple TV. Sorry, you were saying.
Supposedly it's going to focus on gaming. I haven't really read much more into it than that. But,
come on, is that it?
If Apple start trying to throw their hat into the gaming ring as well, that'll make it interesting.
Well, the interesting thing is they've already got a lot of things from. They've already got a lot of contacts with developers, I suppose, haven't they?
Yeah, and they already have the infrastructure as well, I guess, for the store.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And there's a lot of tie-ins with video games and stuff that come to the App Store and Androids. So yeah, they already have a lot of the get-go there, I suppose. They also want to bring out their own Netflix rival as well, similar to iPlayer. Anyway, enough Apple news.
Yeah, I think the only thing is, as soon as you go away from mobile games to because these are obviously big console games, or at least games that you can play on a TV, you're then obviously having to compete with everyone a lot more. Because like Apple at the moment, like the mobile market is large, but within it's Apple versus Windows versus Android, really.
Yeah, there's Apple. I'm sorry, there's Amazon's Fire TV thing.
Oh yeah, that has its own
that has gaming, but it's literally mostly mobile sort of games. Like there's like Flappy Bird and Angry Birds and all that sort of thing on there. So I mean, they could do something like that, but I hope not, because that sounds suckish.
Yeah, I mean, I'll keep an eye on the Apple developments, but I don't think they're going to be the ones to revolutionise anything with their developments. They'll probably just make it look very, very pretty and bring out a new one every year. The Binding of Isaac, which is a indie game,
right?
Which got a re-release. I think it was last year, or maybe it was early this year.
Right.
Called Binding of Isaac Rebirth, is now getting an expansion on October 30th called Binding of Isaac Afterbirth.
Binding of Isaac. I just see Isaac Newton tied to a chair. Is that weird?
Well, it's not as weird as the actual story of the game, which is where you get basically thrown in the base. I think you get thrown in the basement by your mum because she tries. No, you run into the basement because your mum's trying to kill you because God tells her to.
Brilliant.
Because supposedly you're devil spawn. I don't know.
All right.
Okay. I know. I've seen the opening cinematic a few years ago, and I know it was really, really weird. But it was funny.
That sounds amazing.
So yeah, that's the expansion. Oh, I should mention that it's coming to PC on October 30th. No word of any other platforms.
No.
And I'm not sure if Binding of Isaac Rebirth works well on 3DS yet either. So the developer's got a lot of work on his hands, essentially. But yeah, if you enjoy Binding of Isaac, the developer says supposedly it's going to bring an extra 100 hours of stuff to do.
Oh.
So might be worth picking up. It's 20 years of PlayStation. I think it was yesterday. Oh. The 8th, I should say.
Oh, okay, cool.
So their online store is having a sale, so...
They didn't make a big deal out of it. I didn't really hear about it.
I mean, if you went on your PlayStation 3 onto the store, I'm not sure if the sale is US or whatever, but you might be able to get a few games cheap, maybe.
So, sorry, was it 20 years?
Yeah.
20 years of PlayStation and...
Yeah, so 1995 was when they released the PlayStation 1.
So there wasn't any sort of sale on the actual PlayStation, but assuming you already have a PlayStation, there's a sale for you.
On the online store, yeah.
The online store, okay.
But I mean, that'd be PlayStation 3, Vita and PS4, wouldn't it?
Oh, if they're still doing it for PS3, that'd be good, yeah.
I mean, I don't know, you're on the PS3.
I don't know, I didn't go on it yesterday. Don't go on it a lot, but... Oh, right, interesting.
And first one, my last bit of news before the news that leads on to this discussion is that Forza Motorsport 6 has been released to positive reviews.
Oh.
So, I know you like racing games, but I know you've never played those ones.
I haven't, no, I'm Gran Turismo man myself.
But apparently it's been praised for its visuals, its variety of content.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, I suppose Gran Turismo, as much as I love it, it does... Ooh,
sorry.
Wow, what was that?
Cough.
Oh, okay. Yeah, as much as I love the Gran Turismo games, you do find yourself declining with things to do after a little while.
Well, at the end of the day, it's a racing game.
Yeah.
So your objectives are drive around the track.
But, yeah. It's Frankfurt Motor Show at the moment, I think. That's there you go. Some interesting news if you like cars. I could have added that to my film news. Really, it's not TV news, just to make up the time a bit. Some car news, but I'm not. I'm not going to, because if you listen to this, you're probably not interested in cars. But
never know. But I think it's good time to do the last bit of news that leads us on to our discussion.
The last main discussion
of the series.
Yeah.
Yes, there's news this week that a Mega Man film is in development. So that's going to be interesting. I'm not sure if they've announced whether it's going to be live action or animated. Part of me hopes very much that it's animated, because having like an actual person in like a kind of like CGI Mega Man suit, I don't think that'd look very good.
Like Green Lantern.
It looked like the old Mega Man box art. So if you've never seen them, you should look them up. They're terrible.
I'm gonna get it up on my laptop right now. What was that? Old Mega Man box art.
Yeah, just put bad box art Mega Man as well.
But it's literally one of the first suggestions on Google. Mega Man bad box art. Oh my life! Christ, that's hideous. What the hell? So that's not what Mega Man looks like.
That's what the live action film would probably look like, though.
Fucking Dolph Lundgren. Jesus. Ugh.
But this leads us gracefully on to our main our discussion, which is video games that would make good movies, and maybe a bit of vice versa if we have time. But
yeah,
mostly on the video games to movies side.
Well,
so
we've discussed in the past the very first live action
was
Super Mario Bros.
Yes,
the first live action video game based film, and we've made our thoughts clear in the past. But if we were to just sum it up,
not very close to the source material.
That's very generous of you. I was going to say shit, but and this is sort of a common theme, isn't it, that runs within these adaptations?
Yeah, there's not been a widely acclaimed video game movie. There's not even been a positively received video game movie, really.
No.
Like, the best ones I've been seen, I think, is the first Mortal Kombat, which was the second or third video game movie ever made.
And even that was only 33% on Rotten Tomatoes.
And Prince of Persia, which did alright as well. But
mainly because, like you said earlier, not many people knew it was a video game.
Yeah, not many people knew it was
myself included.
A video game.
And that's the highest received video game based film, at 36% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I mean, obviously, a numerical score is just a numerical score, but
that's pretty crap.
Yeah. But if you look over you can find on Wikipedia their full list of video game movies inspired directly from video games. And a lot of them are either horror games or fighting games, which is quite interesting. Because fighting games in particular are very famous for not having much of a very complicated plot. It's usually
just fighting,
beat up these dudes. Although that was one of the reasons why Mortal Kombat was quite well received, I think, is because it was a very simple premise. Just it was doing the...
You say very well received.
Moderate, slightly.
Ish.
Kinda.
Not poorly received.
Is that it was true to the video games and the fact that it was just the kind of interplanetary fighting tournament or whatever. And that was what the plot of the film was. But yeah, and obviously you can see the appeal and turn the horror games into horror films, because supposedly, horror films are usually quite bad anyway.
Yeah, pretty plotless anyway, yeah.
Yeah, they're usually just people die and there's blood and scary and jump scares.
You could literally turn anything into a horror film.
To be honest, all you usually need to do is take the music from it, just slow it down. Swing your arm from side to side. Come on, everyone, let's go do the Mario.
You're a kid now. You're a squid now.
And you just have like some like murderer walking around with a knife in the back, like whilst that music is playing.
And then jump scare.
Jump scare.
Jump scare.
Jump
Squid.
A kid.
Yeah, the kid looks round 1 minute, looks back round, and then looks round again. He's got a squid face. I can already see it, actually.
The Splatoon horror movie.
Has to happen. I've said it first.
You know Splatoon is set in a post-apocalyptic world.
Oh,
so
God, yeah, it's already there.
it's already all sorted out. This could be like, they could call it like Splatoon Origins.
You heard it here
Story
first.
of the apocalypse.
You heard it here first.
Oh god, that'd just be terrible.
Silent Hill did okay-ish. The film, that's horror-based, isn't it?
Yeah.
Made 97 million at the box office. Dollars, that is.
I mean, quite a few of the films have grossed pretty well, probably because they've sold based on their legacy of their franchises.
Yeah. In fact, most of the time they actually just use the name, really, don't they?
Yeah, because it's a bit of it's one of the main like kind of issues with the adaptions is like, how much do you adapt? Because it's very difficult to make a movie into a game because it's very difficult to make a game into a movie because you've got to like take out the interactive elements.
Yeah.
So if generally it's not very interesting in a movie to watch like somebody walk around trying to solve a puzzle.
Yeah.
Because usually the player would be doing that, but obviously they need to make it a lot more streamlined plot. But if you make too many changes, then it's arguably just trying to use the name of something that's already established to sell you shit.
Which they do a lot of this time.
Yes.
Like, there's Resident Evil films. Like, they're pretty awful, aren't they? I mean, I've never really got into the games, but as far as I can tell, there's not a lot in common, is there?
I don't think so. Apart from the fact that one or two of the games are seen as widely as quite crap as well. But not as bad as the film. But then, like, at the same time, there is a market for bad horror, isn't there?
Yeah, yeah. But they tended to do quite well, actually, at the box office, those Resident Evil films.
Yeah.
God knows why.
Yeah, these are all the ones that have been made. On the list of games that are going to be made into films in the future, got Mega Man, like we mentioned earlier. Have Five Nights at Freddy's, which is going to be interesting because the thing is that could work quite well if it's like because the thing that made the games make people jump in when they played the games was just jump scares.
Yeah.
Which is pretty much horror, which is very easy for a horror movie to do. So that could be okay for a bad horror movie.
For a nice jump scary horror film, which we haven't had enough of recently.
Got Assassin's Creed coming, which you're excited for.
I'm excited about because it actually looks alright. Well, actually, it looks... Well, the film that's made by the same people looks quite good.
Yeah.
So, hoping for a good Assassin's Creed film. Plus, it's the most... It sort of feels quite natural to go into a film, I think, of all the games I can see on this list.
Yeah, I mean, the simple premise of Assassin's Creed, the fact that it can take place pretty much anywhere, and tell a story that all it really needs to do is include an assassin and maybe a Templar.
All it needs is someone with his hood up, and it's there.
That one's got quite good stuff to work on because it's got quite a thin it's just got a very simple premise.
Yeah.
Like, assassin kills people. Like, you could work that into a plot so many ways.
Yeah.
As Ubisoft do on a yearly basis. You've got Ratchet and Clank, which is going to be an animated film next year.
Yeah.
So that could be quite promising. I think I saw bits of a trailer.
It's not far off actually. April next year. There must be some sort of trailer soon.
I know they had a trailer at E3 last year.
Mm.
And it didn't. It looked alright. It looked like like any other animated film, really. But the graphics were very much reminiscent of the game because obviously it could translate directly over.
Yeah.
From animated game to animated TV, animated film, and I think it's got some of the same writers and things like that. So
okay.
That is promising as a kind of thing. Got the Angry Birds movie.
Way.
Which is just...
Why? I think they released an image not long ago, didn't they, of the of what they'll look like, and they actually look quite creepy.
Well, they're circular birds.
I just don't get what's... I mean, is it just going to be sort of good versus evil thing? Because you've got the little pigs, but there's not a lot to go by, is there?
It's going to be like a very deep political thriller about the amount of bird suicides trying to take down the pigs. And was the war worth it in the end?
Oh,
you're going to have like the President Bird looking out the window of the Oval Office just with like his secret agent birds next to him.
What are they going to do with that? I literally don't know. How is that a thing?
Well, they did that TV show, didn't they? So it's probably going to be in the same vein of that.
Did they?
Yeah, there's already been like Angry Birds animations and stuff like that, but to my knowledge, they were mostly didn't have any words in them. They were like, like the old. I think like Shaun the Sheep is pretty wordless as well, isn't it?
Oh yeah, Shaun the Sheep's brilliant though.
Yeah. So it's like a less competent Shaun the Sheep, essentially, I think. But they're just kind of balls that roll around, but some look like pigs and some look like birds.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
There's going to be a World of Warcraft movie. It's just currently titled Warcraft.
Oh yeah, they're doing that thing where they just sort of make something grittier by knocking it down to a word or phrase.
Well, to be fair, it started off as the game series started off as being called Warcraft.
Oh, okay.
It was called World of Warcraft because it was massively multiplayer online.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
So they added the World of to kind of imply that everyone was there.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense.
So I'm not sure what they're going to do about that because but then obviously they've got lots of years of quests and expansions and stuff they can draw from. So, and they did already turned down a terrible director by telling him, especially not you. So it means that Blizzard are actually paying attention to, who they're giving the stuff out to.
And that director, Phil?
His name is Yue Bo, and I will say that he took film critics once and he got them to hold a boxing match with him where he beat the shit out of them because they'd negatively reviewed some of his films. And bear in mind, he'd kept details from them because they thought it was a PR stunt, whereas he was just literally getting them into a ring to beat him up. The man is no, I'm not going to criticise him. I don't get beaten up by Yue Bo.
He was responsible for what I can see as the worst reviewed film on Rotten Tomatoes. 1% rating. Alone in the Dark is a video game based film even. And that did...
Believe it or not, there is a list of films with 0%.
Really?
On Rotten Tomatoes.
0%. Oh.
Like, imagine that. Like, that would surely mean that there were no redeemable qualities.
You'd stop making films at that point, surely.
Well, the thing is, like, some directors have just, they believe, obviously, they're very good. And there's everyone else that is wrong. Like, even if that were true, everyone else has the money you want. You giant narcissistic bellend. So it doesn't matter if you think you're the best. It doesn't matter if you are, but everyone else disagrees. No one's going to go see your shitty film. No one's going to pay you money going, well, I don't like this film, but you're the best. In a way I can't see. Yes, that was my little sweary rant over.
Yeah. No, I think that's perfectly reasonable.
But yes, I'm Uncharted is getting also getting a film.
Oh, okay.
Uncharted is the PlayStation, is a Sony series.
Right.
All about Nathan Drake. I've never played any of the games, but I think, based on the fact, I believe they're like adventure games, so they might fit quite well in.
Yeah.
I mean, they could end up being just like the Tomb Raider movies, or they could end up being good.
And kicking back off now. Yes. We can't actually remember what we were talking about because you won't notice because we've edited it down. But
there might be an abrupt stop.
There might be an abrupt stop where we stop talking about something because I accidentally just locked myself out of my new house, and no one else was in. This was because I heard a knock at the door, and then went downstairs to see an Amazon van outside, and then saw that they were delivering my parcel to next door because apparently I wasn't in. But I was going to go out and explain that I was in, but during that time the door shut behind me, which is auto locking, and I didn't have my key nor my phone, so. One call on a stranger's phone later, and my girlfriend came down the road to let me back in. So during that small hiatus for us, we've forgotten what we were talking about, so we're just going to move on swiftly.
Yeah, I think we were talking about Uncharted. So next we're going to talk about the next one on the list, which, have you ever heard of Sly Cooper?
Never heard of it.
It's similar to Ratchet and Crank, but I believe it's like a raccoon.
Oh, okay.
So that will be another animated film. I think that's kind of much the same comments as the Ratchet and Clank one. Is like, with an animated kind of character to an animated film, it's going to be a lot easier to carry the visuals and maybe a bit more of the spirit of the...
It's quite hard to sell an animated film though sometimes. It can be established characters like Sonic, they might be alright, but I don't know. They might have to push that one a bit on the marketing front.
Maybe, but I mean, I think it's a Sony property, so a lot of these seem to be Sony, or at least a lot of their games are on Sony PlayStation.
What's this Sucker Punch Productions, which I've never heard of? Is that part of Sony?
I don't know.
Well informed we are at Cynical Optimists, aren't we?
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned Sonic the Hedgehog. That's the next movie on my list that's getting made.
Yeah.
So if it's...
Sucker Punch is owned by Sony.
Yeah.
Right, okay. There we go, some resolution to that.
Well, Sony obviously are the ones with the movie making side of things compared to Microsoft and Nintendo, so obviously it's going to be more of their properties.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog's also getting one. See, I know Sonic Boom was very badly received as a video game.
Right.
But I don't think the TV show's doing that badly.
Oh, okay.
Like, because it's very, very self-aware of how bad the games are, I think. Like, there's one episode which literally features one of the glitches in the game.
Right.
Like, as like a self-reference. Which is quite funny. So, that might not actually be too bad as long as they get, like, good writers in, essentially. And make it very light-hearted and not connected to the shit games. Yeah. There's a game called Rampage that's getting turned into a movie, which sounds like it's going to be bad. I don't know,
what is
the name Rampage doesn't give me faith.
Film matter.
Mostly because I can't tell whether it's a driving game or a murder game.
Gigantic monsters trying to survive against the onslaughts of military forces. It looks just like King Kong or Godzilla, basically.
Okay.
Which are films that are already sort of being covered.
Yeah. Those are films which are already films.
By the King Kong cinematic universe or whatever's coming out soon.
Yeah. And I think the only other significant mention is that supposedly Nintendo are very, very hard. Like, they're thinking very hard about the idea of making films again.
Yeah.
Because Super Mario Bros. Kind of made them lose their faith in it for about 20 years.
And the audience.
Yeah. So, lots of people are like, oh, they could do like a Nintendo cinematic universe or whatever. Like, you know, like do it like the Avengers, but like have Smash Bros be like the big crossover film. They all have their individual films.
Yeah, I can just see it already.
I can see it. I mean, like, you played the single player of well, you played the story mode of Smash Bros. Brawl with me.
Yeah.
And the cinematics in that weren't bad.
Well, no, yeah, true. Yeah.
But obviously, they'd have to have a lot more of a narrative if they wanted to make films, like proper.
Yeah,
films
rather than
out
just
of it.
punching each other for the sake of it.
And a lot of Nintendo characters just kind of don't talk; they just kind of make noises.
I know. Smash Brothers Civil War. That could work.
Yeah, but like the dialogue would be like, "It's a me," and then like Link going, "Yeah, ha!"
Yeah, maybe not.
Because very few of the Nintendo characters actually talk.
So have there been any good
audible
video game films?
Oh, how do we make
No,
them?
have there been any good ones?
No.
No. I was actually thinking. I remember the old animated Pokemon films.
I mean, if we include animated films, and there's been
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
like the Pokemon ones are quite
Yeah.
good.
But Pokemon was actually. I swear it was cinematically released as well, wasn't it?
It was. I think it was a limited theatrical run that films like that usually
Right,
get. So it
okay.
wouldn't have been released everywhere.
Right.
It'd just been one or two theatres would have been showing it.
Right.
Like specifically.
Yeah. No, that was a great film.
Because remember, if you went to go see it, you got like special cards, didn't you?
Yeah, I think so. I'm pretty sure I saw it. Actually, I don't know. Maybe I saw it on DVD because it's apparently it was 1998 or 9 for North America.
I remember seeing one of the Pokemon films.
Yeah.
Because I remember getting the cards.
Yeah, there's quite a few out. I remember.
Yeah, because they had Pokemon like the first movie. There's like Pokemon 2000.
Yeah.
Pokemon 3 or whatever. And now I think they've done like 6 or 7 movies at least.
What about films with plots centred on video games? I'm now looking at that section of Wikipedia.
Well, that's a lot more. That's because the thing is, like, that includes films that literally just have a video game being part of the plot.
Yeah.
Like, it's very loosely related. Like, standout titles like that are just Wreck-It Ralph, pretty much.
Yeah, and Tron Legacy, which I liked, even if no one else did. Yeah, that they tend to be fairly strong, but then we come to Pixels,
Dear.
which was inevitably going to pop up at some point because of my raging hatred toward Adam Sandler. But
Pixels is how you don't make a movie, let alone one that has connections to video games.
Bloody Adam. I just can't.
It made a profit though, so he's not going out of business just yet.
Oh, God, he's going to carry on making films. Literally until he stops making profit.
Probably until he dies, even if he's not making profit.
But, no, I mean, the track record of video game based films hasn't been entirely strong, but I'm actually quite looking forward to what they offer up.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to watch. Like, I think the main thing is to choose the right game, like, from the start. Like, if you've got a very, very...
If you've got good transferable sort of visuals.
Yeah, if it transfers over visually, and also... Because the thing is, if you get a game with too little plot, then you'll have to put in stuff yourself, and then you've got the risk of, like, the fans saying it's not representative of the game they love.
Yeah.
Then if you've got too much plot, you're never going to be able to include all of it. Like, you got 40, 50 hour, like, hundreds of hour games as well. And they all have subplots and side plots that really a player does at his own speed. And, like, but obviously they'd have to be kind of ordered.
Yeah.
And some
That's
of
a
them
good thing.
thrown
Yeah,
out,
you have
whatever.
to sort of condense, because the video games are actually long. Even the story modes are usually longer than most films, so you do have to sort of try and come out of a compressed story. But if they can do that, it could work.
And yeah, I think it needs to be reminiscent without just being like a video game without gameplay, essentially.
Yeah. Well,
I think those are some good tips.
Yeah, we've cracked it.
We've solved all problems.
We've solved all problems. What's the one you're looking forward to most? That's a nice cheesy question.
I don't know, maybe Mega Man if they do it right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Live action could work. Could be like a sort of superhero film.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it would just be a lot of people dressed up in suits.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, the whole premise of Mega Man is that it's all these rogue other robots which have been made to do, like, just menial tasks, like, and then they've gone rogue and used their weapons to, like, destroy the city.
Mm.
Like, well, that was the original premise. Some of, like, the later robots they had as his bosses, like, I'm not sure what service they kind of gave to the public, like Sheep Man.
Sheep Man.
I think he was meant to herd sheep.
But no, I mean, I think that is a film that could work, especially among the flux of superhero films at the moment.
Yeah, and I mean, I think Astro Boy, which is very similar to Mega Man, did quite well.
Oh yeah, that was a film, wasn't it? Yeah.
So the thing is, Astro Boy and Mega Man have a lot of the same kind of story beats.
Yeah.
Like Mega Man was a boy. Oh well, he was always a robot, but he was originally just a robot boy. But then when all these robots went haywire, he got upgraded from being just Rock, which is his name, to Mega Man, which is when he got the blue suit and the gun for a hand.
And the Dolph Lundgren face.
And the forever youthful face. So I mean, it could be... Yeah, I think it could be quite good. Get someone good to play the evil professor villain.
Which there are plenty of.
Oh, I saw a suggestion that Christopher Lloyd could play the villain in that the other day, and I thought that was actually quite a good casting.
Oh god, imagine Christopher Lloyd and what's the guy? I've forgotten his name. Michael J. Fox as Mega Man and the evil professor. That'd be really good.
It would just be so cheesy though. Like, no one would be able to take it seriously as a film.
Everyone would love it though. Why didn't they do that?
Everyone would love it, and at the end of the day, like,
They should.
films are what you try to, like, films don't have to be completely serious or whatever.
No. Oh, that would have been cool. They should have done that back in the day.
Great Scott, Mega Man.
That's a missed opportunity, wasn't it? Any other games that you want to become films?
So I was thinking about, because there's all those rumours back earlier in the year that Zelda was being turned into a Netflix series, and supposedly those have all been debunked now. Although there might be something in that vein happening eventually, and I think it's just like, yeah, I think some game series, especially if they're ones that are tens or hundreds of hours long, would make better series.
Yeah.
Because then you could give all the characters more breathing room and stuff like that.
Yeah.
For a film, you need something that's really quite bite-sized. Portal might make a good film.
Yeah, it's got good visuals as well, I think.
Yeah, it's like it's got quite a. It's well written as well. The games are at least. It's like quite a psychotic villain with like this whole mysterious facility with its whole backstory and everything. So that might be able to work. I'm literally looking around my room. I have no idea why. There are no... I can't see any video game titles.
Gran Turismo, the film.
Isn't there... I swear there's... Well, there's already driving films.
There's a Need for Speed film. They did that. That did quite well, actually.
Yeah. Their driving film's a driving film, isn't it?
You can't really do a lot with it.
I mean, they're making that Grand Theft Auto documentary. I'm not sure if Grand Theft Auto will translate into a film now, though.
Yeah, no, especially as it's not very, it's not particularly street racy. It's literally just all circuit racing and stuff. Well, you can do a good video game film, but not many people have done it.
I'm sure you can, but it's like very simple tips. It's like, don't change it too much. Don't change it too little.
Don't cast.
Don't hire UA Bob.
Don't cast Bob Hoskins as Mario.
Don't electrify Bob Hoskins after you cast him as Mario. Don't try to kill Bob Hoskins.
But that's about it, isn't it?
And just like, I don't know. I'm not sure if these things suffer from low budgets or whatever, but have an actual have a filmmaker in charge who's got like a good vision for it. I think the game studios need to get more involved.
Yeah.
Like a game studio that's very more deeply involved will result in a more representative film, which will supposedly be better. Supposedly, but because I think one of the problems is a few of those video game films, like the properties were literally just sold off, and the developers were like, "Nah, fuck it," and just forgot about it.
Mm.
So yes. Do you have any more to add?
That's about it.
So I think that might bring us to the end.
That does just about bring us to the end. It was nice to end on a topic that integrates both our specialist subjects.
Yeah, I thought it'd be a good one to end
That's
on.
a good one to end on. Well done, Phil.
Thank you. I'm going to pat myself on the back.
Good. And continue to do that for what has been an excellent first series.
Yes. Hopefully we'll be back someone with more stuff.
Yeah, someone.
I'm going to take a few weeks off looking at the news. Just going to let things happen now. Okay.
Everything will happen now.
But no, it's been very fun to do.
Absolutely.
And yeah.
Hopefully we'll be bringing you new news in the future. Or old news in the future, which won't be that useful, but...
Well, I think we'll at least do a video to tell you things about the new Doctor Who series.
I
as we
imagine so.
feel.
We'll probably meet up around that. Maybe a Christmas special.
Maybe we'll do a Christmas special where we just rip apart the series of Doctor Who that's just been... Well, it's going to have just been by then.
Bless you.
Hopefully I won't have a cough by then.
And I won't knock myself out of my house again.
But yes, there will be things in the future.
That was quite a dramatic season finale, wasn't it?
What, you locking yourself out your house? I mean, it was more just me sat checking my emails. I was thinking, wow, he's taken ages. Oh, well, it'll be easy enough to take out the recordings because it'll just be no sound.
Yeah. Unless we do leave in like that 10-minute gap of silence for you all to enjoy it. No, that's been about it from us.
Yes. So thank you very much for watching the first series
or
of
listening
Cynical
to.
Optimists.
Not necessarily watching.
Unless you're just staring at the static words for an hour. Yes, and we'll see you in the future, hopefully for episode 13 and series 2 or whatever.
Phil, what's our final theme tune going to be? As this is a bit of a throwback to the first episode with our Skyping, what about Splatoon? Oh,
so
hang on.
Suggested...
What about the slowed down horror version of Splatoon?
Well, I'll slow it down, yeah.
Basically.
So basically, I'm going to just be playing in my sound editing software to try and make that sound effect sound really creepy.
Absolutely.
That should be fun.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Yes.
See, we can do season finales. We've essentially done a link back to the arc that followed throughout the series. See how simple it is, Moffat?
Moffat, just know this. You're either a kid or you're a squid.
Excellent. Well done, Phil.
Well done, Nick.
Good.
Yay!
I've been NGM.
I've been haddowinc.
Thanks for listening.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.